1 hour, not 1 minute, until freedom and democracy have triumphed over the forces of evil. We will crush our enemies beneath our feet, lay waste their farms and towns, make their children our slaves.
So many fond memories of Maximilian I on the 10th anniversary of our glorious leader's death.
The great and our great nation.
Many, of course, doubted that his son and heir Maximilian II could live up to the example of his charismatic father. But the man affectionately known as Junior has valiantly continued the fight against the pesky rebellion led by playwright-turned-terrorist John Thorne.
Once derided as the Playboy Prince more interested in the movie business, the president for life today vowed not to rest until he has rid the country of these criminals whom he called, quote, really bad guys. In a gesture of goodwill to commemorate his father's passing, the president today also commuted the sentences of several men condemned to the gallows, sending them to the guillotine instead.
Papa would have been proud.
Long live the House of Bonaventure! Long live democracy! Long live freedom!
When I think of the lazy afternoons of my childhood, of the bruised skies, the blank faces of the women with dirty bare feet by the side of the road, I wonder if I should have stood by and done nothing, which in some ways is precisely what I did. I know that I've done questionable things, but my role in the assassination of the president is one that even now I cannot say I entirely regret. They say I'm a war criminal, but everything I've done for my country. I met Mr. Thorne in the last days of the Empire, though no one knew then that they were the last days.
In R28 prison, the dirty protest by terrorists of the Citizens for Justice and Democracy has entered its 5th year. Agitating for political prisoner status, the terrorists refuse to bathe, perform work details, or participate in any other activities. They registered their protest by using their own excrement to smear anti-government slogans on the walls of their cells.
Wow, a mess like that sounds like it needs the heavy-duty scouring action of new improved Ultra Clean.
You're right about that, Jane.
Fresh as a daisy in here. You're going to wear the uniform today, prisoner 7?
You ask me that every morning.
I ask you that every morning. And every morning you say no. So, you're going to wear the uniform?
No.
You really are a pig. You know that, Thorne? A filthy fucking pig. Give me the regular criminal any day. I've been thinking about it. when you're gonna give this silly shit up.
Oh!
You will answer me when I address you, prisoner. I said, when you gonna give this up?
Not gonna.
Don't fuck with Superman.
How far does a man have to go to be thought so dangerous that he needs to be locked away, physically separated from the rest of the world, behind concrete walls and iron bars? Clearly, it's a last resort.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, Defender of the Constitution, Protector of the Faith, Guardian of the People, Master of all that crawls upon the earth and swims beneath the sea, Savior of the nation and the House of Bonaventure, Generalissimo, President for life, Maximilian II.
From the start, Junior ruled in the shadow of his late father. Papa Max had been a grade A son of a bitch, if ever there was one. Who would have thought we'd look back on his reign as the good old days?
This is the hour of our long-awaited victory!
For all his brutality, Papa Max was clever enough to make us believe that his tyranny was for our benefit. Junior, on the other hand, had been born day-old stupid and been losing ground ever since. Aside from indulging his interests in murder, rape, and torture, he spent most of his time running the film industry.
Action, Martina. Martina, do it again. Faster.
With Junior in power, it was no surprise that Thorne and his comrades were winning the war for the nation's soul. Junior had pillaged the treasury and filled Parliament with movie stars. As Thorne won over the poor and the middle class, the rich retreated to their villas in the hills, hidden behind walls fitted with firing ports and razor wire. They sent their children off to private schools in bulletproof cars to be taught in French. Many of the third and fourth generation children, the really inbred ones, couldn't even speak their own native tongue.
Every day's a holiday, sir. Every meal's a feast.
Yo. Yeah.
How was he this morning?
How is he? Well, you know, the same.
Chow time. Prison food. Almost as good as hospital food.
This used to be a hospital.
What?
This prison used to be a hospital.
I read your plays in school.
You're new. Where do you come from?
Upstairs, admin section.
Did I ask for this detail?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I got tired of pushing paper. Wanted to do something that made a difference.
Depends on what's written on the paper.
This wasn't my first choice.
You want to go fight terrorists.
Yes, sir.
You don't approve of what we do.
Officially, sir, I have no opinion.
Well, you should look into getting one.
Good morning, Mr. President. Madame.
Chuck, I thought you were out on the island.
Helen gave me the weekend off, sir.
What a ball buster.
Really?
How's the movie, sir?
It's coming together. It's got a certain je ne sais quoi.
It's brilliant. He's just being modest.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. It's just I have to be on set for the next one at 6 tomorrow.
No rest for the wicked, eh, sir?
What?
Nothing, sir.
And will this be our chance to see Madame's long-rumored return to the silver screen?
Oh, no. My official duties keep me far too busy.
And big congratulations on your triple-double the other night, sir.
Yeah, you know, it's the end of the season. Everyone takes it to a higher level.
But to score 50 points in the same game.
Yeah, no, I was in the zone. What can I say? You're not a basketball fan, are you, Ted?
Only during the playoffs, sir.
Because you're a big fag, that's why, isn't it? Big fan? No, I'm kidding, Ted. I'm kidding. Okay, so, what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Why the emergency?
Another monk immolated himself.
Is it really necessary to bother the president with the antics of these malcontents? We don't need to know every time there's a barbecue.
Well, having priests killing themselves doesn't help us in the polls, with the dirty protests still going on.
The comfort of criminals is not of great concern to the state.
It's not a question of comfort, Madame. Thorne's people are starting to win the war for hearts and minds.
Let me tell you something, Ted. When you've got them by the balls, their hearts and minds will follow.
Come with me. So where are we with the monk thing?
It's all under control, sir. We're rounding up the usual suspects. Parliament and the press will, as ever, blame Thorne's people for the atmosphere of anarchy. Blase, blase, blase.
But that won't be enough. Bottom line, we can't signal weakness when our freedom is at stake.
Hand us our paper, would you? Chuck. So, what did you have in mind?
Have a good year.
Continued their crackdown on terrorist activity as ordered by His Excellency Maximilian II. Both political parties argued that the heinous crimes of John Thorne and his followers left the government no choice.
It's clear from these cowardly and barbaric acts that we need to re-establish law and order in the face of this threat to our peace and freedom. It's clear from these cowardly and barbaric acts that we need to re-establish law and order in the face of this threat to our peace and freedom. Congressman Barth is, of course, familiar from such films as Landslide 1, 2, and 4. Senator Lime had a distinguished career on the stage, but is best known as Paddy Maloney from the popular television show I'll Tell Yous When I've Had Too Much to Drink.
Those who dismissed Junior as a mere buffoon foolishly underestimated our volatile boy king and often paid with their lives.
Did you ever hear about the oracle that warned Papa Max that one day his wife was going to give birth to a son who was going to kill him and destroy the empire?
Yeah, I heard that.
People wonder why Junior's a psychopath. You want me to kill me? You would be too if your father tried to stick a coat hanger through your head when you were a fetus.
I thought that was an urban myth.
He was a student at my wife's school until his father decided he'd be better off with private tutors. He gave them such shit.
So you believe that Junior killed his father?
So you believe that Papa Max's death was an accident?
It wasn't.
Well, I didn't see Junior trying to poke his eyes out over it.
Thorne's group was called the Citizens for Justice and Democracy. Personally, I preferred terrorist groups that sounded like rock bands, Black September, Action Direct, Red Army Faction. I also liked the Weathermen, back when they had their original drummer. Thorne's movement had started as a flimsy coffeehouse protest. Nobody gave a shit. But as Junior cracked down, Thorne's followers turned to violence. Or maybe it was the other way around.
Monsieur John Thorne, nous vous déclarons coupable de haute trahison, sédition, de calomnie contre la...
By the time Junior put him in prison, Thorne was becoming a folk hero. Robin Hood with a machine gun.
De conspiration pour commettre le meurtre. Conspiration pour cambriolage.
You're a soldier, Joe. I assume you believe there are things worth dying for, killing for?
Yes, sir, I do. But we don't kill innocent bystanders.
Nobody standing by is innocent. I didn't come to violence casually, you know. But you get to a point when you have no choice but to take up arms against your oppressors. It'd be very hard for a thinking man to deny that. So actually, I should ask you, Joe, is it hard?
Sir, are you calling me stupid or are you calling me a coward?
Every day I sit here, the revolution creeps closer and closer to victory. Sacrifice of one man's life is a small price to pay.
And you think that one man can make that much difference?
The name Rudolf Hess, ring a bell?
German figure skater?
He was Adolf Hitler's right-hand man until the Second World War.
Yes, I know he was.
When the war was over, he was put on trial at Nuremberg with the other Nazi bigwigs, sentenced to life. And in the city of Berlin, there was a penitentiary, Spandau prison. That's where they put them. 40 years he was there. 21 of them on his own. 21 years, all alone in Spandau prison. So powerful was the specter of this one man that after he was dead, they tore down Spandau. They wanted no trace of him left behind.
Nice role model, a Nazi.
No. I'm just saying one man. One man in a cell, one man in power, one man in the right place at the right time.
That problem down there?
No, First Sergeant. The prisoner just wanted something.
He wanted something. What's this? A fucking hotel? If I catch you bullshitting with the prisoners again, especially that prisoner, I'll beat you like a red-headed stepchild and skull-fuck your corpse.
I'll never let nothing be easy as that. Let it be like the nest of the dream.
As likely as stones are to rise up and sing, as likely as birds to fly out of this thing.
Recapping our top story tonight, government official kidnapped from his country home outside the capital. Shown here is the getaway vehicle, the Henley Triton V6. Triton, for comfort and safety, the best-selling full-size sedan in the world.
Police today confirmed that the kidnapping was the work of the Citizens for Justice and Democracy, which released this video.
I admit that I am guilty of these nasty crimes against the people and of perpetuating the pig power rule.
Authorities say the confession appears to have been coerced. Now, stay tuned for Friends.
Long slogan today.
Had a big meal last night.
Who said it?
Carlos Morales, second critique of oligarchy. You should read it.
I'm waiting for the movie. So he was a friend of yours, the famous Professor Morales?
A mentor.
I heard he fled. Self-imposed exile, they say.
Well, some say he was dumped into the sea from a helicopter in one of those mid-air interrogations.
And what do you think?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what you think, or it doesn't matter what happened to him?
Doesn't matter.
How do you remember it all like that, word for word?
My entertainment options are kind of limited.
Have you memorized anything else?
Shakespeare, some books of the Bible, Eliot, Yeats.
Bullshit.
Turning and turning in the widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. Blood-dimmed tide is loosed. Everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. That was my wife's favorite poem. We came for her in the middle of the night. The time-honored way. At least I got a trial.
When was this?
Long time ago. Junior was still running the secret police for his father.
I heard that he did a lot of the high-level interrogations himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too.
And your son?
In hiding.
And how long since you've seen him?
9 years. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion's body and the head of a man. A gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again. But now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast? Its hour come round at last. Slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Better go.
What's the name of this latest masterpiece, anyway?
Out for Vengeance 4.
Christ.
What can we expect, I wonder?
Same as before.
Yippee.
Is this a joke? Yeah, but this time, the joke's on
You're never gonna get away with this, you motherfucker!
Shut the fuck up! Get your stinking paws off of her, you damn dirty ape.
I want to see Trey a little longer.
Well, sir, that's a problem, because it's really all I have of that take. Mike moves the gun right after Trey says hell.
I'll see you in hell.
Fuck. See, one of the hallmarks of my style that I'm known for is subtext. All great filmmakers have subtext. And mise-en-scene. No? Lots of mise-en-scene. We have to have that.
Yeah, yes, sir, absolutely.
So I need that shot to be longer.
Unfortunately, sir, that is the longest take. I don't... Maybe if I slow it down.
Let's discuss this like rational men.
Sorry, we have a strict policy. We don't negotiate with terrorists. You sad motherfucker, aren't you?
What do you think?
It seems a little cheesy.
Really?
Maybe a different speed.
Remember you as a murderer. Face it, Johnny. You got greedy. Didn't you ever learn not to shit where you eat? I'll see you in hell. Save me a place in the shade.
Yeah, that's better. That's good. It's really coming together, isn't it?
It has a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yes. Has a certain je ne sais quoi, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'll be right up. Je ne sais quoi.
So will you have someone come and refill my water dish?
Of course, Walter. I don't think I've ever met an actress who was quite as extraordinary as this one.
Well, the public find her very amusing, sir.
I also think she's extremely intelligent.
And wonderful red hair.
What is this?
Chicken, sir.
So, what are you telling me? We're still losing the hearts and minds thing?
Well, let's just say the campaign isn't going quite as well as we'd like.
So where were we?
Hearts and minds, sir.
Right.
The main thing we need right now, sir, is to defuse the credibility of the prison protests.
Well, I take it you've got a plan. Tell me. You got a plan?
Well, a statement from a high-profile political prisoner would be ideal. Something disavowing the protests.
And who do you have in mind?
Well, Thorne, of course. He's the only one with that kind of credibility.
Do you think Thorne's going to make a statement on our behalf? He won't even wear fucking clothes on our behalf.
Anybody can be made to talk, sir.
Prisoner number 7, formerly known as Thorne John M. Greetings from His Royal Highness Maximilian II. Now, about your son. You'll be glad to know that after a lengthy search of many years, we finally succeeded in locating him. I assume you'll want to see him alive. It's a very simple proposition we're offering. We will guarantee the safety of your son and will arrange regular visits for you with him.
In exchange for what?
Just a few kind words on our behalf.
Go fuck yourself.
Don't do this to yourself.
I didn't realize this was self-inflicted.
You know what I mean.
Here, get your transfer. So you still believe in Junior enough to go risk your life for him?
I'm willing to risk my life for my country.
Me too.
Right, please.
Good evening. I bring you holiday greetings from the public detention facility R28. As you know, the anti-government campaign of the Citizens for Justice and Democracy has recently resulted in several violent acts of public disobedience. Accordingly, the officials here have asked me to relay to you firsthand that we prisoners are being treated very well. Rumors to the contrary are vile anti-government propaganda. Conditions inside the detention facility are humane and generous.
Naturally, there has been great public interest in the first glimpse of the celebrated playwright and dissident in more than 5 years.
But he appears to have some sort of facial twitching, Jim.
Let's go to Tom Enfield, our terrorism expert, who's with us by satellite. Tom?
Jim, I'm not sure if that's a tick or if he's trying to blink something in code. Morse code? T-O-R
acts of terror.
T-E...
Smart guy, huh? I told you, don't fuck with Superman.
Hit the prisoner.
First Sergeant.
Smack the prisoner! You have a problem with disciplining prisoners? Or with that specific prisoner?
No, First Sergeant.
Again. Again! Go stand outside. Close the door.
Stones are rise up and sing like we can bird to fly out of this thing.
When I think of the lazy afternoons of my childhood, of the briny smell of sea air in the cool evenings, I think also of the blood-red moon and the bare trees the colour of rust. Thorne's performance on television stirred a hornet's nest. The final straw came when he was elected to Parliament from inside R28. There was a lot of controversy, as he was a playwright with only limited acting experience. But after that, Junior had no choice but to grant Thorne political prisoner status.
Frank, that fax last night was illegible. Get them to change the cartridge on the machine, please.
Yes, sir.
Thorne wrote me during the 3 years I spent in Battalion 6, the elite counter-terrorist unit the army wouldn't even officially admit existed. We hunted his terrorist army in a place we called the Haunted Wood, the place where I would meet my wife, Madeleine. He wrote, "When I finally go back to the town where I was born, will I find the trees burned down to the ground? Everything they taught you in school is wrong."
No, man, no. They inject the chicken with the water. That's why it's so juicy. They just call it.
Do they inject it when it's alive?
Well, I'm not an expert on chicken farming. I don't know chicken because of shit like that. Listen, you give me a good steak any day. Nothing's better than a big
juicy steak. Hey, what kind of woman comes to a strip club?
Lesbian. Why don't you go over and strike up a casual conversation with her? You hesitates a lot.
That's very helpful.
You know me. I'll fuck the snake you hold his head.
Snake? You fucked the sea cow.
Why do you gotta bring that up? No, we said we're never gonna speak of it.
Sorry.
But seriously, man, we had an agreement. You can't just go and break it like that.
Okay, so what am I going to say to him?
Just go on over.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hi, my name's Joe.
Hi, my name's Joe.
I'm gonna fuck you in next week. Don't say that.
No.
Just say hi, my name's Joe. I gotta do everything for him.
Hi. My name is Joe.
Madeline.
Oh, nice to meet you, Madeline. Is that your boyfriend?
Kind of.
How secure would you say his position is on a scale of 1 to 10?
Is 10 more secure or less secure?
I'd say 10 is more secure.
1.
Well, may I sit down?
Yeah, okay.
No way, brother. Pot's legal in Sweden.
Would you mind if I gave you a call sometime?
Oh, man. Not only has this chick got no tits, no ass, and she can't dance, she is butt ugly.
That's my wife.
You get the check over here?
24 years in the Foreign Service, and this is where it's got me.
Just relax. Let's see if we can get him alone without Yoko.
So I went to town to sell the cow, but all I got was these magic beans.
Magic beans? What do you mean, magic beans?
That don't smell too magic to me.
So did you get any milk from the cow?
Nope, it was an utter failure.
Oh, Hans, you ain't got the sense God gave a turnip.
God gave a turnip what?
Sense.
Since when?
No, sense.
No sense? Nonsense.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Beauregard, you is confusing me.
Confusing me with what? A turnip?
No, you is confusing me with your logics.
So I hear you was in Rome. That's right, I was. And what did you do when you was in Rome?
Well, as the Romans do, of course.
And that voodoo that they do so well.
It was swell, thank you very much.
Speaking of swelling.
Hi, Chuck. Hi, Ted.
Sir?
You seen these guys before? They're hilarious.
No, sir.
You want some popcorn?
Better not, sir.
Sure, what's up?
Terrorists hit another village last night. About half the villagers mutilated, arms and legs hacked off, a couple of dozen people.
Oh, Jesus. What did the markets do?
Oh, nothing good, sir. Parliament's up in arms, of course, and it looks like those people have locked up another dozen votes on the amnesty issue and announced 2 new candidates for the election.
What's the story of these candidates?
One of them spent 4 years on a soap, the other's a Tony winner.
Tony winner? Who gives a shit? What was he in?
Un chien andalou, musical.
I don't know, Beauregard. What is the difference between an Italian mother-in-law and an elephant?
The black dress.
I gotta tell you, this new wave of amputation attacks is not helping us. I've got 2 pictures of me next weekend. Please tell me you have an idea.
Release Thorne.
What?
Mr. President, it's become increasingly hard to justify keeping Thorne in prison. It's an embarrassment to have a member of Parliament locked up.
There's lots of politicians in prison, Ted, all over the world.
Lots more who should be. But as long as Thorne's inside, he can do no wrong. But if he were out, he'd be forced to make some unpopular choices, just like any other politician.
You don't want some of it? What do you think, Chuck?
Well, might bring him down to human size. On the other hand, it might look as if we were caving in to terrorism.
On the contrary, we respond to violence with compassion, demonstrating our commitment to reform and democracy. Then let him wither and die once he becomes just another motherfucker in a suit.
I don't know, Hans. How many Chinamen does it take to change a light bulb?
2. 1 to change it, and 1 to be a slanty-eyed gook.
It's clever, I'll give you that.
Thank you, sir.
But I have to ask you, is this going to be a repeat of the brilliant idea of having Thorne go on television? Because that was your idea also, no?
Well, there are never any guarantees, but we have to do something.
Well, if that don't just burn your bridges.
Now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle.
And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born.
Hello, Joe.
I wasn't sure you'd remember me, sir.
Look at you, they've made you an officer.
Yes, sir. Well, I got married, too.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
How was Battalion 6?
I'm not aware of any such unit, sir.
But if you had been in this mythical Battalion 6, would you tell me?
I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of such a unit, sir. It's nothing personal.
Of course.
It was nothing personal in R28 either, sir.
I know. Very proud of you, Joe. From a humble prison guard to an officer in Junior's elite security corps.
Last time I saw you, you were public enemy number 1.
And now?
Well, read the graffiti. You're a hero.
You know what they say. Show me a hero and I'll show you a tragedy.
You could be Prime Minister in a year, sir, I think.
Oh, do you really think Junior would ever allow that?
Well, he can't stop the people from voting, sir.
Voting could ever really change anything. It'd be illegal. Do you get the way he presents himself now? In the plural. We. The royal we. He can't even swim. Do you know that?
No, sir.
He can't swim. It's not a crime. It's not even a drawback, really, in a head of state. But when I think of the number of times I pulled him out of the swimming pool at my wife's school, hauled his fat pink ass out of the water with him blubbering and flailing around like a woman. Yeah, I love the water. I've developed a skin condition.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Yeah, I have to sit in a bath every day.
You know, many people are very hopeful now that you're out, sir.
You know, when I was a young soldier, the Army taught me to look for the antenna. You're gonna either hit the commander or his radio operator. They still teach you that?
Something like that.
So, John, what do you think's more humane? To wage a war and kill thousands of people, or go right to the source? Sacrifice one man? Seems a small price to pay, doesn't it?
Sir, that question is way above my pay grade.
If you want to kill a snake, you cut off its head.
It is our pleasure to welcome Mr. Thorne, and with him a new day in the history of our country. He will, of course, be taking his seat in Parliament when it reconvenes next month, and we would like to announce a new production of his play, Beneath a Marquee Moon. We are looking forward to working with Mr. Thorne in seeking a solution to the Troubles and in shaping a bright new dawn for our great nation together.
I'm glad to be out of prison.
Mr. President, I assure you, sir, what happened this morning was an anomaly.
Chuck, can I borrow your pen? You know what I think, Ted? I think you're a little sweet on Thorne. I think you'd like to suck his cock, wouldn't you? His tired old cock. What do you think, Charles? I always thought Ted was a big fag, didn't you? No, I wish I didn't have to do this, but it's bad business to let failure go unpunished. Sends a wrong message to the rest of the staff. Have you read that book? 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. It helped me a lot.
These people you've surrounded yourself with are idiots. None of them can see how dangerous Thorne is. Talk about a lean and hungry look. And what happened today was just personally insulting to you.
Well, what can I do?
What if Thorne refuses to take his seat in Parliament?
Well, that would probably mean the end of Parliament as a governing body with any kind of, you know, oomph.
And he knows that. Thorne's just leading us down the primrose path. Bonaventure is good. Bonaventure is kind. The people know. It's just these terrorist vermin poisoning the people against us. You know what you're gonna have to do.
And what?
Sooner or later.
I know you're right, but Smith and Jones...
Fuck Smith and Jones. Where have their bright ideas gotten us so far? What you did today was long overdue. On this imbecile on the payroll. You're the head of state.
You're right. You're so right. What do the cards say, Mummy?
The long knives are out. Your enemies are gathering strength. March portends evil. The future is unclear so long as you remain the last in your line.
My father groomed me to succeed him, even as a child, in a dynasty that would last 1,000 years.
Do you hate me because I'm not a real woman?
No. No. Mummy. I love you. I love you. And someday soon, you'll give us a future. A son. An heir.
Daddy, you're so good to me.
Mommy.
Please fuck me.
Tell me you want my cock in you.
I want your big fat cock in me.
Tell me again.
I want your big fat donkey dick in me.
A newly freed John Thorne has announced that he will refuse to take his seat when Parliament reconvenes this week. Thorne's announcement earlier today was a severe blow to the peace process and cast grave doubt on the government's portrayal of a rapprochement with the citizens for justice and democracy.
Talks between Mr. Thorne and the administration continue, with senior government officials expressing confidence about the chances of an agreement.
I just don't understand the appeal of this guy's work. Such pretentious crap, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
It's all symbolism, I don't know. Some people like that shit, I suppose.
Well, the critics like your work too, sir. Nobody gets better reviews than you.
That's true, there is that. When's the opening?
The previews begin this week, sir.
That's when we should do it. Opening night. Pull an Abraham Lincoln on his ass. See what kind of box office he does after that. Put Battalion 6 on it.
Sir, I feel I should restate my original objection. You were embarrassed awfully, but you have to try to give the original plan some time.
No, I don't have to do shit. Because I am the head of state. I'm
Maximilian II!
I am the savior of the nation. I am the guardian of the people. I am the master of all that crawls upon the earth and swims in the sea. And you fuckers have fucked me in the arse for the last time. I would like him eliminated, terminated with extreme prejudice, like Marlon Brando. Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it. And as you insist, well, quite rightly, may I suggest a less public place? A random accident on a deserted stretch of road, perhaps something, discreet.
Discreet? Okay, yes, I like that.
Anything else, Mr. President?
Okay, arrange it. No, thank you, Captain. That'll be all. I like discreet.
Captain? Captain? I'm sure I don't really need to say this, but you will be circumspect about what you've heard here. It's all classified at the highest possible level.
I would never do anything to hurt my country, sir.
Glad to hear it. Are you, married, son?
Yes, sir.
Any kids?
One on the way, sir.
Bun in the oven, eh? Good for you, Captain. Jolly good for you.
The President for Life bill represents a major turning point.
What time is it?
3.
It's almost 3:30. Where have you been?
Working. You know, I had a beer. Sorry to wake you.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know what they used to teach us in training? They used to say, do something, even if it's wrong.
That's good advice.
Well, the army's not big on indecision.
You sure you're okay?
You know that I love you.
Of course.
And I love our baby. And I want a better world for her.
You're scaring me, Joe.
Just tell me you know that.
I know that.
In other news, the Citizens for Justice and Democracy claimed responsibility for the daring daylight robbery of the First International Savings Bank yesterday morning. First International Savings now offering low-interest home loans for qualified first-time buyers. First International, where we're banking on you.
Traveling circus came. They brought an intelligent elephant, and Nellie was her name. One dark night, she slipped her iron chain, and off she ran to Hindustan and was never seen again. Nellie the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the sir.
Are you out of your fucking mind, Captain?
Some gentleman here to see you, sir.
President for life, Maximilian II, Patriarch of the House of Bonaventure. You are hereby placed under arrest for crimes against the people, crimes against the state, and crimes against humanity.
Thank you, son.
This action is taken under the authority of the Citizens for Justice and Democracy, as it is the legitimate representative of the people. The imperial government is relieved of its powers. A provisional revolutionary government is announced, pending free elections to be supervised by the CJD. You are entitled to a speedy trial with proper representation.
What a fine Republican you are. All your bullshit about democracy, and you burst in here like common hoodlum.
Well, we would have given you a jury of your peers if we could have found a dozen dictators to sit here. But the Shah's dead, Noriega's in jail, Pinochet's sick, and Idi Amin's got a tennis lesson. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, when I think of the lazy afternoons under the bruised skies of my childhood, of the smoldering trees burned down to the ground, of the blank faces of barren women sitting by the side of the road, I think, what have 20 years of Maximilian's rule brought us? 20 years of an administration that has shown nothing but contempt for the people it nominally serves. 20 years of a press muffled by the state. 20 years of our once thriving culture turned into the private plaything of one man with terrible taste. 20 years of a dirty war waged against his own people. Political undesirables forcibly sterilized, tortured, murdered, or just disappeared.
Oh, you finished? And perhaps we can discuss this like rational men.
I'm sorry. We have a strict policy. We don't negotiate with terrorists. And what of our First Lady, this third-rate actress who had the palace grounds refrigerated so that she could wear her fur coat to her inauguration in the middle of summer?
You want me to abdicate? I'll need a guarantee of safe passage to the country.
But should we let him just live out the rest of his days on some Riviera, spending the money he's stolen from the people?
How's the rest of my villa in the country? Any of the villas. You pick.
Face it, Junior. You got greedy. Didn't you ever learn not to shit where you eat? Ladies and gentlemen of the court, look at the face of evil. See how thin its lips are? How pale and pock-marked it is up close? How ordinary? The prosecution rests. Defense?
The defense calls Mr. Thorne. Mr. Thorne, would you tell the court what was the crime for which you were imprisoned for 13 long years?
Writing a play that was critical of the government.
And is the man who had you imprisoned present in this courtroom today?
He is.
Would you point him out, please?
That man there.
Let the record show that the witness indicated the accused. No further questions. You may step down.
The prosecution calls Madame Josephine Delacroix, First Lady of the Empire. Madam, can you think of any positive contribution your husband has made to this country in his time as president? Madam, can you think of any reason why your husband should not be put to death for what he has done to this country? Let the record show that the witness was silent. No further questions. Thank you, madam. The accused has the right to say something in his own defense. Prisoner, have anything to say for yourself?
We fucked your wife before we killed her, you know. She loved it. She squealed like the pig that she was. She dug her nails into my back. She begged me for more. Yeah, she was a pretty good piece of ass for a dried-up old cunt. She thanked me for raping her. She said she was glad she'd finally had a real man. A man who knew how to make her come.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. We find the defendant guilty as charged.
They'll remember you as a murderer.
They'll remember me as a surgeon. A surgeon who cut a cancer from the body of the state. And the sentence?
Death.
Prisoner, please stand up.
All right. I'm sorry? Is that what you want to hear? So Tell me what you want, and you can have it.
Sid.
Anything.
On your feet, prisoner.
Please.
It is the sentence of this court that you shall be taken hence to a place of execution, and there you will be hanged by your neck until you are dead. May God Almighty have mercy on your soul.
You will be a slave, Sid. So I lick your boots. Seriously,
An alternative form of execution may be substituted at the discretion of provisional revolutionary government.
I'll give you money. I'll give you money.
Come. Anoint yourselves. Get on the radio and announce it to the people. Government has fallen. Citizens for justice and democracy have assumed leadership of the country.
When Junior fell, it was like the first spring after 1,000 winters. But I didn't know then the price I would pay for the revolution, that we would all pay. The wife I would lose, and the daughter, Daisy, I would never really know.
Morning. Coffee?
Yeah. Is there any milk?
Condensed. You know what you want?
Are there any eggs?
I cut the ration again. The new quotas hit us hard.
How about butter?
You ask me that every morning.
I ask you that every morning. Every morning you tell me the same thing.
No butter.
How about steak? There's nothing better than a big, juicy steak. I'll just have the coffee then. Wait, I've got it. I hate this new money. It falls apart in your hand.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
You're in the camps.
Yeah. You? No, you're too young.
My mother. They said she was sleeping with black marketeers to get extra bread and milk for me. I don't really remember her. What about you? How did you end up in the camps?
Hello, I'm Jim Broadmoor.
And I'm Jane Prufrock. And here's what's news in your world tonight.
Our top story tonight, elections originally scheduled for the spring and already twice postponed have been postponed again.
In a prepared statement, a spokesman for the revolutionary government stated that the threat from counter-revolutionary forces remains too dangerous to allow elections at this time. Quote, "The safety of the Republic remains our utmost concern, and we must do nothing to put that at risk." Unquote.
When pressed to set a date for the new elections, a spokesman for Chairman Thorne, peace be with him, declined comment.
Thorne and his revolutionary government wanted to make me a hero for what I had done. But what I was seeing didn't make me eager to sign on as their poster boy.
What is the color of the sky?
Red. Thorne's people began emptying the cities the very morning of the coup, driving the uncooperative into re-education camps.
And what is the law?
Not to eat meat. Are we not men?
And what have we learned?
Nail that sticks up gets hammered down.
I was, for 13 years, imprisoned in R28.
Thorne halted the import of medicine, banned action movies, and began systematically separating children from their parents, railing against what he called the narcissism of family.
From year zero, we restart the calendar. Babylon has fallen. Long live the Republic!
And all the while, the revolution's propaganda machine worked overtime, rewriting history. Anyone who was inconvenient to its new vision was simply erased. Who would be left to write the secret history of a past that never really existed?
A final reminder, as of tomorrow, 14th Thermidor, green will mean stop and red will mean go at all traffic lights. Red is the color of the revolution. All glory to Chairman Thorne and the Republic. Now, stay tuned for Friends.
Citizen TV, would you like to accompany me to the coffee?
Joe? What are you doing?
You said you'd never live in this gingerbread monstrosity.
Tell me about it. I'm working all the time. It was easier for me to live here.
Running a revolution keeps you busy, huh?
You know, it's nearly a full-time job. Here, give me just a minute, will you?
Sure.
You know, I don't know how anybody wrote anything before there were computers. Can you imagine the struggle that Dickens or Tolstoy must have gone through writing those 900-page novels with a pen?
Well, as I recall, you once wrote with even less. Doesn't seem like something the revolution would embrace, what with the vegetarian laws and the book burnings. But you didn't bring me here to talk to me about word processors.
No, I didn't bring you here to talk to you about word processors. You refused to sign the loyalty oath.
It's an insult.
It's a piece of paper.
Exactly.
You're in your debt, Joe. What you did for the Republic. You're a hero of the revolution.
What did you say once? Show me a hero and I'll show you a tragedy.
You're so cynical. When I look out at the Plaza of the Martyrs, I know that what we did was the right thing to have done. Let me put you into a position where you can do some good for the revolution.
And what's good for the revolution is good for the country, yes?
Let me make you a general. Give you a division to command.
I'm retired.
All right. Have it your way. I'm not going to try to make you feel guilty about the things you could be doing for your country.
I think I've done enough.
Sit down, please. Thank you, Tanya. Oh, you're having second thoughts about the revolution. We are content, so let history be the judge.
We? Is that the royal we or you and the frog in your pocket? You know, when I was in the army, I watched your men give out food in the dirt-poor neighborhoods they controlled. I saw them enforce order in places where even the police were afraid to go. I also saw your tax collectors encourage those who were hesitant to cooperate. That cordless drill, that was a real leap forward for you, wasn't it?
I had to save bullets. Let me ask you a question, Joe. Things better than they were 4 years ago? Are the people better off? Are you?
Well, you know what they say. Under the old government, man exploited man. But since the revolution, it's the other way around.
I am very aware that there are some people out there who think the revolution has become a monster. Is that what you think?
I think the people's militias are out of control. A bunch of government-sanctioned religious fanatics.
There have been excesses, and we have been very forthright about that.
Excesses? People are being sent to the re-education camps because they wear glasses. Children are being rewarded for turning their parents into the secret police. No neckties.
Obviously, the revolution is a work in progress. Would you go back to how it used to be? You're a smart guy, Joe. You saw what was good and bad about the revolution, and you chose it over the alternative. Don't come in here playing the betrayed innocent.
How's your rash?
I sit in the bath every day.
You should see a doctor. Oops, send them all to the re-education camps.
Oh, don't be infantile. We're trying to build a new society that requires a certain amount of fucking pain. We all gave up something for a better world.
You gave up your son.
Not a god.
You know that the amputations are still going on.
It's a problem, but we are doing what we can to bring the militias in line with the revolutionary principles of Professor Morales. What was that?
Nothing.
You sure?
How can you lionize Morales when you've closed all the universities, you've sent all the professors to the camps? There's no one here who can teach anyone anything.
Morales would have condemned what our universities have
Give
become.
me a fucking break, sir. Morales is on a beach somewhere with a mountain of opium and a harem of teenage
You best hold
whores,
your tongue.
getting high every day and fucking 12-year-old
That's
girls
enough.
until his balls drop off. I have a daughter. What do I tell her?
You tell her that you did something. You know, Joe, when our forefathers came to this country, they burned their ships on the shore. There was no turning back. Your ship went up in flames, and you opened the door to this office to us. We're a nation at war, and you're with us, whether you regret it or not.
What's this?
It's a loyalty oath.
Citizen, you have been found guilty of crimes against the revolution and our holy God. As an enemy of the people, you are sentenced to a course of instruction in re-education camp number 9 until such a time as you have been re-educated in the proper revolutionary mindset. We encourage you to look deep within your heart, cast out that which has led you down the path of iniquity. Let all who hear these words take heed. All praise to Chairman Thorne, leader and guiding force of our people.
Do you know why you're here, prisoner?
Because I helped Thorne kill the president, and I've outlived my usefulness.
No, I mean the real reason. Why are you here?
I wouldn't sign the loyalty oath.
Can't very well have a society where it's acceptable to be disloyal to one's country now, can we? So you helped Chairman Thorne kill the president and the first lady, hmm? Seems to me it's in your best interest to play ball, proclaim your support. Cooperate and graduate. That's our motto around here. Now you can do that, can't you?
The chief instructor, Doc, had been an ophthalmologist before the revolution. Unlike most of his colleagues in the medical profession, he wound up running a re-education camp instead of being imprisoned in one.
Welcome to Caesar's Palace. Best hotel on the strip. Where's your room?
It's at the end of the cell house.
That's why we call Michigan Avenue. I'm just around the corner on Broadway.
Jesus Christ. Where are they taking him?
Room 12?
What's in room 12?
You don't want to know.
Do you know?
Well, no.
A stale piece of bread is better than nothing.
Stale piece of bread is better than nothing.
And nothing is better than a big juicy steak.
Nothing is better than a big juicy steak.
Therefore, a stale piece of bread is better than a big juicy steak.
The Lord called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting. He said, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when any of you brings an offering to the Lord, bring as your offering an animal from either the herd or the flock.
This is very poor conduct.
Bring from the herd, he is to offer a male without
Very counter-revolutionary.
He is to lay his hand on the head of the burnt offering.
All we're asking is that you do your duty as a citizen. Declare your loyalty to the flag. You are a patriot, aren't you?
Fuck off.
You kiss your mama with that mouth. You're the one who says you were there when Mr. Thorne killed the president, huh?
It was all in the papers.
Ah. That must have been the weekend I was out of town. Water skiing with the Pope. You know this guy? Big hero of the revolution? Would you cool off in there a while before you find yourself in room 12?
I thought this was room 12.
What do you want from me? I want you to tell me about the conspiracy.
Conspiracy?
We know that you, some of the others, are plotting a conspiracy
There's no conspiracy.
Do you still maintain that you were involved in the assassination of the president?
Yes.
Well, that was a conspiracy, wasn't it? So why wouldn't you be involved in another one?
I'm not.
So you admit that there is a conspiracy?
If I was plotting something, do you think that I'd be stupid enough to attack a guard?
Maybe you attacked the guard to make us think you weren't involved in a conspiracy, or you'd never have attacked the guard.
I'm not that smart.
It's tough to believe you, Joe, when you won't even declare what side you're on. So you gonna do yourself a favor and sign a loyalty oath?
No.
I'm a man of science, Joe. All this revolutionary mumbo jumbo. I was hired to employ the scientific method. And my job right now is to uncover the root of this conspiracy based on the evidence.
You have evidence?
No, that's how we know there's a conspiracy.
Why?
If there wasn't a conspiracy, there'd be evidence. That's how effective the conspiracy is. Morning, Joe. What's better than a big, juicy steak?
You ask me that every morning.
I ask you that every morning, and every morning you tell me the same thing. So, what's better than a big, juicy steak?
Nothing. Nothing's better than a big, juicy steak.
No, Joe, the sooner you admit your involvement in this, the sooner you get out of here. Get that eye taken care of.
By who?
The chaplain will pray for it to heal. Why do you insist on resisting when you can't even be sure of your own story? Did you personally witness the supposed murder of the president?
No.
So you didn't actually see Mr. Thorne pull the trigger?
No.
Joe, have you ever heard the story of the 5 blind men who came upon an elephant? One felt the leg and said, an elephant is very much like a tree. The next felt the trunk and said, an elephant is very much like a snake. The next felt the tusk and said, an elephant is very much like a spear. See what I'm trying to get at?
What happens to the prisoners you photograph and then take away?
So, let's go through this one more time, Joe. Where'd you go after work detail this morning?
I told you I went back to my cell.
Which is where?
Michigan Avenue.
And where'd you go after that?
To the child hall.
And after that?
I went back to my cell again.
And then where?
The duck say.
The duck say? What's a duck say?
Quack, quack.
As humble servants of the revolution, we have long looked forward to this day. It is our great honor to be the recipients of a visit from the chairman of the Citizens Committee for Justice and Democracy, the grand hero of the revolution. Gentlemen, I give you Chairman Thorne. Peace be with him.
Good day. Good day, Chairman. Well, Thorne, study. Come back to us. Good morning, citizen. Good morning, citizen. You look well. Good day, citizen. Nice to see you.
Chairman? Don't you remember me? My eye.
Study hard, citizen, and soon you will rejoin the general public. Good morning, citizen. How are you?
And what rough beast, his hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born?
Beautiful morning, citizen. Beautiful morning.
I thought you were my friend, Joe. I tried to protect you, but now I'm afraid there's nothing left I can do. Means well for you. Sorry, buddy. I had to tell him about the conspiracy. It was you or me, you know how it is.
Joe, how are you? Have a seat. Coffee? Joe, you were in the army, correct? What was your last assignment before the revolution?
Presidential security detail.
And before that?
Field duty.
Where? Was it the Plain of Reeds? Which unit? Who are you protecting, Joe? That war is long over.
Battalion 6.
And what did you do in this Battalion 6?
You know what we did.
See, the problem is I don't have any record of a unit by that name.
It was a secret unit.
It was a secret unit. Ah.
Sloan Joseph J., private first class, drafted out of high school, assigned as a clerk to the Imperial Detention Facility R28. Good conduct medal, unremarkable military record, discharged at the end of the normal 2-year service, returned to civilian life.
What?
Worked as a shipping clerk on the Northwest Coast, married, 1 daughter, Daisy, born in year 1.
What are you talking
Subject
about?
was arrested in year 3 for misdemeanor counter-revolutionary activities, to wit, possession of softcore pornography, breasts no bush. Sentenced to 6 months in re-education camp number 9.
It's a kind of pathetic thing to get sent to a re-education camp for, isn't it, Joe? Possession of some titty magazine.
While being re-educated, wife granted a divorce under Revolutionary Statute 471/J.
What are you talking about? Divorce? This isn't true.
Joe, you were never assigned to the Haunted Wood. You were never assigned to this mythical Battalion 6. You were never a commando. You were never assigned to the Presidential Security.
No, this is not true.
You were never an assassin, Joe. You were not part of a plot to kill the president. You were a clerk, Joe. An ordinary man, like the rest of us.
Fuck you.
How fast can you type, Joe? How fast can you type?
Wife left with daughter aged 5. Daughter adopted by stepfather Daniels Bernard M. Visitation right of birth. Father suspended for duration of re-education process.
I had to leave, Joe. I didn't have any idea how long you were going to be in the camp. And the disgrace of it. It was hard enough for me, but for Daisy.
Why would Mr. Thorne, peace be with him, personally kill the president? Why wouldn't he simply employ an assassin? Especially if he had an accomplice in the presidential security detail.
He had to do it himself. He couldn't give the order to another man.
Why would he waste time and risk capture to stage a show trial while in the presidential bedroom?
He knew that Junior wouldn't let him rise to power.
And if he was so popular, why would he need to mount a coup at all? What's better than a big juicy steak, Joe? What's better than a big juicy steak?
I'm through with this beautiful hat.
likely as birds to fly out of this thing. As likely as birds fly out of this thing. The water grows quiet, or so it pretends. It stands deep and cloudy, waits to come in and take up the place that one time was mine. And I was beginning to learn how to climb.
Another bomb exploded today, only a few hundred meters from the Palace of the Republic. Counter-revolutionary forces from the Loyalist Committee for the Restoration again took credit. Government officials condemned this cowardly act of terrorism.
Who's in charge of this new government?
Junior's nephew's been returned from the government in exile.
Well, I thought his family had been wiped out.
His mother, the president's sister-in-law, escaped. He's never even set foot in his motherland.
So where are you gonna go?
Back to the city. They'll always need doctors, especially now. Besides, I've been a neutral observer in all this. I mean, after all, I'm a physician, a healer. Take care of yourself, Joe. Hey, there he is.
Where the fuck are you going?
Been offered a new position. From Ministry of Justice. I worked out a very comfortable deal. I got a big desk. I got a secretary. She's got real big tits. Now, sadly, your insistence that you're involved in the murder of the president makes it difficult for the new government, which is to say the old government, to release you. We're very sympathetic to your case, Joe. We want you to know that. We know how you've suffered. But the fact that you've now endured several years of what we have to assume has been relentless indoctrination, brainwashing to call a spade a spade. Perhaps with some additional rehabilitation, we'll feel comfortable releasing you, but that's something that we're going to have to take a long, hard look at. And that is an ongoing process. But hey, buck up, buddy. We're going to get you out of here. Just as soon as the political climate allows it. Hey, don't forget my friends.
When I think of the lazy afternoons of my childhood, of the briny smell of sea air in the cool evenings, of the blood-red moon and rosy-fingered dawn, I think also of Madeline and Daisy and where they are today.
Stay long, I'm picking Nikki up at daycare. I'll come back tomorrow, though. I'm working nights this week. I got you some food.
Chow time.
This used to be a hospital, you know.
What?
This prison used to be a hospital.
Dad, you okay? You alright? You okay, Dad? Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
The empire we brought down rocked from their unjust genocide to the human conditions in which we were forced to live. They wanted us to accept our imposed conditions of hospitality and keep our mouths shut and our arms crossed, so that they could keep manipulating their political and racial tactics. Perpetuated million-dollar business as long as we accepted and no one would support it. And if we continue proclaiming the truth of this 30-year genocide, the following punishments we face are torture, cold-blooded assassinations, and conspiracy. Even now, the enemy